I'm live. All right. My goodness, it's been a hot minute since I was last here to help support everybody and share whatever it is that comes through me. Yeah, life has definitely thrown a couple more curveballs, which is absolutely amazing. Um, Today is Sunday, March 15th, 2026. And we have shifted now into the year of the fire horse, and it is a very fast paced um, and accelerating energy that we're in. And it's almost hard to put words to, but I'm going to do my best. People are struggling, right? And there's times myself where I have been struggling. And communication is key for support. However, there's a fine line with communication and when we're crossing a line of projecting our own stuff into areas without we even realizing what we're doing because we're just so caught up in our own stuff. Personally, how I've been dealing with it is just to be with myself, right? Instead of reaching out. And there's times where I do have to reach out, absolutely. But when I'm in the thick of things, I go deep, deep in. And I did just that for the month of January and most of February. I went into a deep, dark place that I don't like to go very often, but I needed to. I revisited depression on a very deep level, even started smoking marijuana again on a regular basis, which is not good for this body. I have since come out of it, and I just want to let people know, like, doesn't matter how far you are on any kind of spiritual journey or where you think you are on an awareness level, we're all still human and we're all going to have our lessons, our experiences that help teach us that there's more to what we are seeing and experiencing, which I believe helps us evolve. Um, and yeah, it's not always pretty, but we're learning how to effectively work with all of this instead of keeping it buried. So when I say, like, when we're in the thick of it and we want to reach out for help because we're tired of being in that, it's important to be in a space to be open to receive the help when you're reaching out, because it can be really, really hard to hold space and not be able to try to help somebody see the light when it looks like they're reaching out to get the light, but then you're giving it to them and they're like, hell no, you're not listening, blah, 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 right? Ah, like I said, this energy that's happening right now is kind of shaking up a lot of things for a lot of people. It's not just one or two or three, and what I've noticed in the last week, the feminine or females on this planet are really working through some of those darker shadows that may have been suppressed that are now coming up to the surface because the light is here for it to be transmuted. So, Spirit, when I tap into this, says for the collective, if you're feeling this out of sorts, it's really important to reflect, self reflection, not in comparison to anybody else. Self reflection. Go inwards, be with yourself. This is the perfect opportunity for us to learn how to take better care of ourselves by ourselves, right? Therefore, we won't end up projecting or coming from a place that's not necessarily seeing the whole picture and then end up projecting unconsciously the the shit that we're stewing in, so to speak. It's a slippery slope. I'm going to address this first and foremost, and I want to apologize to anybody that this might be triggering because it could very well be. That is not my intention. My intention is always to bring more awareness to a situation to help people get out of a one-sided point of view when there's this There's something always greater going on. And it took me a long time to even understand what that was and be able to get there. And like I said, I fall myself from time to time, but I quickly bounce back because I've got the tools, the knowledge, and I just have to remember to actively start working with them, because that's my myself, and how I feel is my responsibility, nobody else's. And even the clients and my friends and loved ones who come to me, and it's not my responsibility to make them feel better or anything like that, but it's in my nature to try, because I can see something that they're not able to see in that moment. So it can be hard. It can be hard when we need to disengage from each other in order to gain our own perspectives and then come back. And that can be challenging when we're trying to unify, right? But really hard to unify with others if we're not yet unified within ourselves. Everything starts here, inwards, and then it gets played out and reflected back to us in that outside world. I don't know how to explain that any better than that. So the other thing too I want to do is light some Palo Santos just to help clear the air. And I'm hoping everybody that's on here, hi Tanya, good to see you on here. It was so lovely to hang out with you last night. And your crab artichoke dip was to die for. Oh my God, everyone, this woman is an amazing chef. Amazing. She'll be in business for herself soon. I know it. And hi, Val. Good to see you on here too. Absolutely. It's a Libra trait for balance, right? You see somebody out of balance, and if you're calling a Libra, I'm sorry. We're going to help bring the balance back, or at least try to, and I understand not everybody is ready for that. Well, and if that's the case, then oh, that whole saying, know your audience, kind of comes into play here. Like, yeah, dancing with the shadow is not something that I like to do. I know it's necessary sometimes, but it's not meant for people to be dancing like shadows, dancing with other shadows. This causes a lot of turmoil. So if we could all just for a moment close your eyes and take a deep breath. Bring your awareness down to your heart and take another deep breath. And I would like to set an intention for anybody and everybody, including ourselves, to open up and soften into more of a divine love that is unconditional, that is our birthright, but can only be accessed through our own beings, our own energy, our own heart space. And I wish to send this divine love out to anybody and everybody that may need the extra boost today and any day that you may be watching this video. It will get better. Things don't always stay the same. Well, they don't. The only constant in life is change. Okay. Oh gosh, I love the smell of Palo Santos. So I want to share with you guys the reading the cards that I pulled for myself today. I didn't do an elaborate one. I just have my 3 decks that feel like are the perfect choice for working with recently. And I pull 1 card from each of the 3 decks, but I also see what's at the bottom of the deck once a main message is pulled. And I'm hearing Spirit is telling me to share this as the collective reading because it's going to benefit, right? And again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But if you're in a hard place, I do ask for you to allow yourself to open up to the possibility that trying something new, even if it doesn't feel like it resonates, may just be the thing that you're looking for and need, right? So the first message that I pulled is coming from a deck called the Messenger Oracle. Here, I'll show you a picture of it. Right, by Ravine Flan. This is an amazing deck. Very good. The main message here is hear the ancient ones. So, and this is, look at, there's a spiral down here, eh? Beautiful. So this is a reminder to go within in order to hear that higher guidance, right? To also get into nature and connect with the trees and the plants and the earth, because the ancient ones, those who walked this earth before us, and their energy essence is here within nature. We can hear the whispers from them through the wind, through the rustling of their branches. But we have to get very quiet within ourselves and open to a place of opening to receive. And this requires softening ourselves, regardless of what's going on. And it can be done. Absolutely. I'm hearing with this one, taking the power back instead of identifying with being out of control, remembering that situations come up for us to remember that there is more, and then move in that direction. Okay, in the bigger picture, what remains at the bottom of this deck was challenge your perception. Somebody had said recently during a debate, I think it was a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, that if ever we are convincing ourselves that we are 100% right about something or even everything, then we're in a very precarious situation, that this is what is going to keep us stuck. And in order to get unstuck, we have to play with the idea that, oh, maybe I didn't understand. Maybe I did have it wrong. It's very humbling when we get into a place where we're convincing ourselves we're righteously right about something. That's letting us know that we're in a perception that is only seeing half of the whole. And that, for me, is the red flag of being in an egoic state, one that's not seeing the whole picture, but convincing itself that it is. It's dangerous, very dangerous. And the spiritual ego is the most dangerous ego of all of them out there, because it literally does convince us that we know everything and everybody else needs to know all this. And that's not how it's not how it works. All right. So challenge your perception by connecting to the ancient ones. If you've asked for help, then listen to the messages and the guidance that's coming. Heed the messages, meaning not just listen to them, but put it into action. Find a way to put it into action in your life. And that's where you will get the benefit, right? So from the Ascended Masters Oracle, we got write. So write your stuff down if you need to get it out. We don't always have to find somebody else to be a sounding board, because they might not be in a place to be able to hold what belongs to you, right? So there's alternative ways for you to work out your stuff, Write it out, right? Right? Take pen to paper. Write your worries, your anxieties, your fears, your dreams, your hopes. Write it all out. You give yourself the permission with yourself. Honor yourself in this way and then build yourself back up. Right? It's challenging, but we all got to do this, especially if we're going to be in a place where we can hold space for others. And if we're not in a place to hold space for others, then we have to pull back and learn how to do this for ourselves. Right? In the bigger picture, we got Ascended Master Lu with persistence. So this is all our power, our solar plexus, our willpower, right? Persistence. Don't give up on yourself. Catch yourself when you're spiraling with the negative talk, the old energy that is holding on for dear life. It's as if it's an entity of its own. No, don't let me go. I need to stay in the places that I know. And we're moving into such uncharted territory. Don't get me wrong. It's scary. I know. I'm going through my own things with it. But I also know the importance of needing to have faith and trust. And that's the gift that we are being given to come into a better alignment with the truth of who we are, and then be able to experience and discover what we are and what's unfolding and where this can take us. There's a lot of faith that needs to be invoked within ourselves these days. And Spirit says too, the best thing you can do is stop putting your energy into the things that do not make you feel good anymore. That this is to your own demise, to continue to stay plugged into the things that do not bring you joy. And the best way we can help the world at large is by becoming masters of managing thyself. When we're grounded, when we're aligned, when we're in that balanced place within us, guess what? That gets reflected in the outside world. And if we're all doing that, our own personal work, which is our responsibility, nobody else's, then we are going to see a very positive shift in the outside world. If you're not seeing that yet, then that's just showing you that there's still some more work to be done in here. So please unplug and plug back in here. Okay, and we can do it. That's where the whole persistence card is all about, like not to worry, that there is an endless reserve of personal power coming from the divine that we get to draw off of. Again, it's our birthright. But it's our responsibility to tap into it and cultivate that relationship with it. Now, the last two messages coming from the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. We got the Dove Spirit, which the message here is be peace. And isn't that interesting? We will see and experience what we are. That's how this all works. That's why they call it an illusion. The minute you change your mind and how you feel about something, the minute the outside experience around it changes as well. It is as if by magic. And but it's so wild, and it can be hard to explain. But when people start to play with this and see it for themselves, then they start really understanding it or understanding it. But if you want peace, you have to be peace, right? Like, this is the thing. For we can't, it's so hard to get what we're looking for outside of ourselves when it's been inside the whole time. The only way out is in. That's where that whole saying comes from. And I know it doesn't make sense to a lot of people at first, but then when you start doing things like meditative practices, right, where you're literally going in, bringing your awareness into your body, and then being aware of what the body signals are telling you, and listening to your higher guidance through intuition instead of overriding it with the mind that has been programmed with a lot of misinformation, right? Not all of it's misinformation, but we're mindful. We don't need to be mindful. We need to be aware. And once we're aware and we accept the truth of things, then it allows us to shift and make better decisions and move in different directions. But it's personal responsibility. It's not up to anybody else to do it for you or even show you how to do it. Okay, so be peace. Cultivate that peace within you, because that again is out. That's what is our responsibility, not the world at large. And then at the bottom of the deck here, we got the electric eel spirit, and it says, "Bring your ideas to life." So again, if we shift our perspective, what we focus on and pay attention to, we get more of. And this is how we can spiral down in our shadows, because we're still focusing on, well, this shit ain't right. Okay, it's not right. Now what? Let's move on. Right? Like, where do we go from there? Because it is what it is. We can't change it. Right? So radical acceptance is needed here. Accept that it just is what it is. We don't have to like it, but where do we go from here? The right questions we ask ourselves will allow us to shift and open up to see a solution, right? So if we can finally get to that place, okay, no, I don't want to sit in this energy anymore. Where do I go from here? The cards are saying, well, write out what you need to write out. Figure out what is lighting you up. Do you have an idea or an inspiration to create something or do something that's out of the norm, feels exciting yet a little bit scary? Do it. That's what this message from the electric eel is saying for us. Like, do it. We're being poised with the energy to literally take our lemons and make lemonade out of it. We are alchemists. We're creators of our realities. And it's all based on how we're operating with our minds and our hearts. And when we're in a dark place, our hearts are actually kind of being a little closed off because we're not able to see the light during those moments. And I'll never stop being a lighthouse for people. I can't apologize for that. I won't apologize for that. Okay. I think I said enough about that. All right. Who would like a little mini reading here? Do you have a specific question that you would like to ask, whether for yourself or for a general message or question, maybe for everybody? That's interesting that Spirit said that. But yeah, if you do, type it out. If you're just wanting a message, a general message, then you can just type over that, please tell me what I need to know. And I will intuitively pick the deck unless you want the specific deck. So 1, 2, or 3 is what you can choose from. the decks there. The first one being the Messenger Oracle, the second one, the Ascended Masters, and the third one, the Spirit Animal Oracle. Kelly. Okay, Kelly, I'm tuning in. She's just showing me. She like jumps up on your bed already. You're feeling her, of course. She's so grateful for the love that you have. The bond is never ending. It's forever. And your own communication with her, like I know you're having a difficult time with it right now, but it will clear up when the harshness of the grief starts to dissipate. It won't be too long. Oh, she just said she will be back. She will be back. And that's pretty cool. You know what that means. Ooh, that just like flew open my heart chakra. Wow. She's everywhere now. She will be back. And my heart goes out to you. It's important to honor how you're feeling and move through it. All right. Okay, gotcha, Tanya. Let's see. I'm going to pull the Ascended Masters for you. Okay, Tanya, you got Ascended Master Mahachohan Rogoksky. If I am pronouncing that correctly, my apologies if I am not. You got the teacher card. So this is a message about expanding in knowledge. I'm hearing through action. So I know this card also talks about like if you've been thinking about taking a different course or a class or learning a new trade or expanding on an existing one, this is a very good time for that. But I'm feeling more like you're in a place where it's time for you to stand a little taller in your own authority, because the things you have learned have given you wisdom, and it's okay for you to be proud of that, to honor that within you, and share that knowledge with others unapologetically. Pass the torch. And then in the bigger picture here, you got listen. So, and this is connected to listen to the ancient ones. Trust your intuition, not what the mind tends to override. That first initial thing is where we kind of have been programmed to dismiss, right? And that's where things start going sideways for us. If we just followed that initial intuition instead of overriding it with seemingly logic, which doesn't turn out to be logical at all, we end up learning hard lessons, right? But yeah, your ability to listen is getting greater. Your awareness is absolutely expanding, and you keep speaking your truth, right? Keep speaking your truth and what you know, because what you know is coming from a place of wisdom. Like we talked about, like we can read about things, we can watch things, we can hear things, and that's knowledge, but that doesn't mean you know it, right? Knowledge is just something that you acquire, you might be aware of, but you don't know something until you have a personal experience with it. So this is why energy doesn't lie. You can be around people, if they start, talking about things or whatnot that they know about these, if they actually haven't had a personal experience with it, they're just well educated around it through knowledge, the energy falls very flat right away because there's no personal experience. And when there's personal experience, you can feel the energy matches when they say, "Oh, I know what you're talking about." Right? Yeah. Energy doesn't lie. People do. But the energy behind it all doesn't. Yeah. Cool. All right, Val, what do we got here? Deck 2. Okay. So I'm just like tapping in for you, Val, here on your spiritual growth and life path. They're not separate from each other. First and foremost, people are still kind of operating from a this or that mentality, which is the old energy, and that's not ever how this reality was or is. It's this and that. They're not separate at all. And yeah, your spiritual growth and your life path will continue to expand with the continued work and practice that you put out, right? So it's like I'm like arguing with spirit right now because you're like enrolled in a class with me and not really progressing. So I'm like, well, shit, I can't give him that message because that's going to sound like it's coming from me. But they're literally saying, finish what you've started, right? Like, keep going. And this is the thing, a lot of people, it's not just you, a lot, and myself included, when I was on the beginning parts of the spiritual awakening and living this kind of a life, and understanding this part of myself is just like all of these great things, we start jumping into, and we'll get a little bit into it, and then it'll get sidebarred because the next new shiny thing showed up, and we're just keep taking in and taking in and taking in without actually integrating what we've just taken in before taking in something else. So slow down. That's the message for everybody right now, and I thank you for asking, right? Like, slow TF down and finish what you started. And then the next right direction or whatever aligned path will open up, right? We keep chasing the dream outside of ourselves instead of integrating what we have with what we are, where we are right now. And we'll keep going for that carrot that's always going to be at the end of a 2-foot stick. The minute you take a step forward, it's still going to be 2 feet in front of you, right? All right, let's see what the Ascended Masters have for you. For Val, please and thank you. Aha, focus upon your strengths, right? This is the thing. If we keep focusing on what we're perceiving as our negative, bad traits, right? Because we're in judgment, and that's ego, that's the shadow. That's the part of us that is not yet opening up to see the opposite equal value, to a situation, right? So focus upon your strengths in order for those to continue to grow, right? And then in the bigger picture, detach from drama. I like that this card came up because no one can ever control, no matter how good of a manipulator you may be, right? Or talker, but nobody can control other people with how they think, what they believe. Actually, I'm eating my words right now because that's oh no, yeah, that's right. They're like, no, keep going. Without your permission, right? And the thing is, a lot of us have given our permission unwittingly to those we looked up to because, we're human. We didn't know better when we were younger, right? We were just trusting that we're in the right hands, getting the right lessons. And although we are on a bigger picture, it doesn't seem like it when things are not going what we could perceive as healthy or right or fair, right? But life, nobody said life was going to be fair, right? Yeah. So anyway, detach from drama because we can't control what other people are doing or saying, and what other people have going on in their life. No matter how close we are to them, it's still not ours. Their stuff is still not ours, right? So when it gets to a point where, somebody's really stuck in something, it's funny how this is popping up because it seems to be the whole theme of what we're all kind of navigating through right now and trying to figure out a better way to support each other instead of, telling somebody, hey, I just can't hold space for you right now. Like, fuck, how do you say that to somebody you love and you see that they're having a hard time? Right? But Spirit saying this is part of the process, and we have to learn not to take something like that as something that it's not, which is I don't care, because that's not the truth. I care so much that I'm trying to help you get out of your funk. But if that funk ain't working, or if that's not working and just making you feel worse, well, shit, then I'm not in a position to help you. Right? That's what drama does. Right? And it's a choice. We can either stay stuck focusing on that, which will continue for us to spiral or not move forward. And you can apply this however it works in your life, whoever this might be resonating with. Or you can choose and remember that you have more power and control over yourself than you currently realized, and start bringing that higher guidance back online through whatever practice, spiritual practice, that can get you there. Interesting. You trust people too much and take them for face value, then you're blown away when they do something. So this is another thing too. Trusting people, like, what are you trusting? That they're going to be all good and only good? Because then again, that's coming from a false reality. Everybody has a shadow. Everyone has a dark side. People get mad at me all the time, especially when I get in my own funk. And you guys don't see that because I don't bring that to the table yet. I'm gonna get raw and real and publicly because I think that might actually help, or at least that's what Spirit's kind of guiding me to do. So this new type of podcast that's about to start with me, I've been waiting for a partner or somebody to do it with. But I'm feeling like this is something that I'm going to have to start on my own and then just bring in people that would like to have these kind of conversations with me. Right? So we can do the shadow work with the light still present. That's kind of what I'm getting from it all. So that's a little update for you guys as far as the podcasting that I've been talking about that is going to be starting. My whole world has shifted. I found my divine partner. I am so irrevocably? I think that's the right word. In love. It's insane. And this loving connection, it's divine love, has blown me away because I don't think I have ever experienced real love until now. And so it's altering me in different ways as well. And, bringing up some things of my past that I didn't realize that this body was still holding on to. And it's now I'm in a safe place to just let things go. Oh, and the weight is starting to come off. It's pretty wild. But living in a different state that you didn't know, but you hoped was there, and it's even too hard for me to explain with words right now. But I'll get better at it as we go. Right? So thank you, Val. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can trust people. Absolutely. And I do that still. I'll start with people. I'm going to trust you, but I'm also going to read the energy. And when something doesn't feel right, this is the trick, everybody. The minute something doesn't feel right in you, whether it's a trigger you're having or something you're just picking up on somebody else, say something. Clear the air in that moment so you are not twisting the words that were said into something that was not said, because this is how we spiral. And this is how the ego likes to think it's right and everybody else is wrong. And then we're stuck. We're stuck. Nobody can hear us. Nobody can listen to us. And yet we want to be heard. Right? So, and it's important. Like when we do get into a loving connection with somebody, that they're not always going to be in a blissed out state, that their shadows are going to show up and it's going to be messy. And the whole thing about unconditional love is to learn how to have compassion for where they are in that moment, right? Instead of reject them. But it all depends on how that shadow's showing up too. Is it destructive? Is it unhealthy for everybody in a very dangerous way? Or is this something that can be handled, right? With a little extra support. Most of the times it can be handled with a little extra support, because if we're out of sorts, it's because most likely we're not feeling like we're being heard. And I get it. But it's really important. We can't actually see other people and expect other people to hear us if we're not really understanding ourselves at a deeper level of what's going on. I hope that makes sense. I get it, but it can be so hard to explain that kind of energy. All right. Well, I think I want to pull another message from the animal spirit guides for us. For us all. Right? Crow spirit. Co-create with spirit. Okay, because spirit's saying you are spirit incarnate, right? You are spirit in a human vessel. And if you don't know what that means, oh shit, and look what's at the bottom of the deck. Dove spirit, be peace. Being connected to our spirit, the higher guidance that is directly linked to us, will help us pull our heads out of the water, so to speak. Right? Okay, I want to read this from the book, Crow Spirit. And I opened it right to it too. Look at that. Love it. All right. Co-create with spirit. The oracle message here. As you look around you, you can sense the magic that pulses through the world. Have you witnessed how every thought can become a thing? How every intention can call the universe into action as the sacred laws shape what you experience? The universe works in perfect order. When you align your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with spirit, you will want to crow with the delight, feeling the excitement and wonder of being in harmony with something much larger than yourself. Crow Spirit says you are right on target now to see your dreams magically come into being in the visible world. The laws of abundance, compensation, frequency, and praise are operating in your favor now. Remember to be grateful and praise what is yours, even if it is still coalescing into form, still residing in the invisible realms of co-creation. No matter what area of your life you're concerned with now, what you hope for is on the way. For Spirit is your co-creation partner. And then for those that might resonate with the other aspect of this message, this is the protection message. Crow Spirit wants to know why you think there is no magic in the world. Or do you believe that there once was, but it ran out, leaving nothing but ordinariness? Although conditions have been challenging, you have no reason to believe that everything you've set an intention for will elude you. Right now, the outer world is shifting. Can you feel it? Maybe you are fretting about experiencing the results of some of your poor choices or judgments from the past. Crow Spirit is here to remind you that you can always course correct and get back on track. Always. Maybe you've been hit by a loss or disappointment as a result of an event that had absolutely nothing to do with your manifesting, yet it has shaken you to your core. Crow Spirit asks you to trust that no matter the temporary conditions, things will right themselves very soon. The law of balance makes it inevitable that this too shall pass. Beautiful. And I'm also going to read the Dove Spirit message for us because it did show up twice, and it's part of this final message for all of us that are navigating such intense energies and all over the spectrum, right? Be peace, the oracle message. With her peaceful cooing, the gentle dove spirit invites you to embrace the energy of peace and allow compassion to warm your heart. You always have the power to generate peace within you. And the appearance of dove spirit is a reminder that today and every day is a good day to meditate, to quiet any turbulence within you or within as you embody tranquility. Above, below, and all around you, much may be happening to distract you, but you are called to engage it with the heart of a peacemaker, asking yourself, what would peace do? Can you agree or disagree? The peace you seek rises within and spreads out into the world as Spirit sends her messenger to remind you of the beauty of a harmonious existence with all that is. How beautiful and powerful is your compassionate heart. And then for those that would resonate maybe more so with the protection message of this, however disturbed the waters around you, however troubled your heart, Dove Spirit is there to remind you that peace without begins within as you reconnect with Spirit through practices that awaken you from spiritual amnesia. And so when the ego is in full front, judging everything, and righteously so, that's what's happening here. We're in a spiritual amnesia in that moment. Try to recognize where you are operating from in each given moment and course correct when you gain that awareness, if need be. Your true nature is a peaceful child of spirit, but how easily you forget. You're being invited to sit in the cozy, safe nest of spirit. Soon the waters will become still and you will feel peace again. Be compassionate with yourself at this time, for all of us can forget that peace is always at hand, always there, gifted to us by Spirit. Become the peace you wish to see in the world so that you can reduce any suffering, performing acts of kindness, and radiating love. Dove Spirit also reminds you that when you see inequity, yeah, that's how you say it. Okay, sorry, let me try that again. Dove Spirit always reminds you that when you see inequity or someone harmed or in need, trust that you have the capacity to bring peace through smiling, sending love, speaking a kind word, or listening with a compassionate heart. Do your part to be a peacemaker, nourishing compassion, reminding others of the joy of harmonious coexistence so that they may embrace the Dove Spirit within themselves also. That was beautiful. And I do have to admit myself, it can be very challenging especially if I'm not like really rooted in a peaceful state within myself, to hold that compassionate, peaceful state for others is, well, it's damn near impossible, really, because we can only give what we have, right? So, and it's all of our personal responsibility to cultivate that peace within so that it does start reflecting without, like, on the outside. All right. Was there any other questions or things that you guys might want to share with me? I feel like we got like another 7 minutes just under here to wrap this up. If there's any other insights. Actually, what I want to hear from you guys, how can you cultivate more peace personally in your life here today? What does that look like for you? What can you do and what will you do today? Please share that with me, like here in the comments. Not only is that going to, help me, it's going to help you share that, those inspired ideas, and could very much spur an inspired idea for others. Oh, I love you too, Tanya. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You move through those emotions. That's the best way for you, Kelly, to honor and bring peace to your heart for what you've just been through, right? Waiting patiently for those comments to come in. As I see, oh, no, we're down to 3 people and only 2 commented. One, I think, maybe Tanya left. Oh, no, there she is. Watch my energy as it affects others. There you go. So practicing more awareness. Perfect. And it is, well, it is a lot more peaceful. I got to say, I put it to the test to become a witness instead of getting caught up in, right? It's a lot more peaceful to just sit on the sidelines and just, kind of watch, but not engage. Once we engage and we identify with, especially with something that we're perceiving as wrong, then we're going to have a time of it. Think before reacting. Yeah. It's the whole that witness thing, which is great. That's a perfect way to cultivate peace, for sure. Witness. Yes. Awesome. Cool. Well, I'm kind of excited about all the things that are coming down the pipeline. So I did a thing, and I got approval for my Transcendence trademark. It's official. And I will be building. We have the property already offered to us to build the first location of the wellness center that will be called Transcendence. And I wanted to share with you all that the services are going to include, but are not limited to, arranging and conducting classes in the field of music, dance, and visual arts, arranging and conducting conferences, workshops, and seminars in the fields of general health and well-being, and showcasing third-party natural health products and services, arranging and conducting dance festivals, arranging and conducting musical concerts and performances featuring live music and live dance, and arranging and conducting performances featuring live dance. I think I ended up missing this. So fields of general health and well-being and showcasing third-party natural health products and services. I can't remember if I said that or not. So yeah, and this has been an idea or vision, if you will, that Spirit gave me back in 2014 during a meditation. It was clear as day. And when I get these clear as day visions, I know that they will end up manifesting into this physical reality. I just don't know how or when. And that leaves me with having to flex a faith and trust muscle and just go with the flow. Well, fast forward, here we are, 2026. As of February 23rd, 2026, I got approved for something I actually applied for in 2024. It didn't get approved until this year. So everything is aligning. Everything is aligning. And these dreams, like all these bigger dreams that I have had, are now starting to materialize. Whew. And I'm telling you, I'm not ready for it. Like mentally, I don't think we as humans could ever mentally prepare us for these big things, which is okay. But having faith and trust that, we do have what it takes to make it happen and go the distance is a challenge nonetheless, but definitely something that we have signed up for to kind of prove in a way. At least that's how I'm seeing it for myself. And so I'm super excited about this. We're like going to be heading up to Lumbee is going to be the first location that this will have. I see 7 different places Another one in the Lower Mainland here once I get this all set up as a nonprofit organization with charitable status. So we can start drawing in from lots of different uh, avenues for fundraising to build the buildings and have the location set, and then be able to provide the services that are going to go through there. And man, is this ever going to be so much fun. So much fun. I didn't mention space for the center. Oh, okay. Stop the negative thought. Yeah. Good work. And then yeah, but Bao, with that worst case and negative, remember that's only half of what the whole situation always is, because there is always balance in everything. Just like a battery has a positive and negative terminal, and that battery will not work unless the car's hooked up to both. Same kind of thing. That's an analogy for how everything works. There is a healthy balance of good and bad, so to speak, in this world, positive and negative. But we're identifying and judging, because that's what egos do, that negative is bad, but negative is not necessarily bad. It just is. We may not like it, but it's not necessarily bad. If we judge it as bad, then we're fucking losing sight of where the positive value is, right? Which is to our own demise. Oh, like Tanya, you mean last night I didn't mention that we were actually going to be building it? Oh yeah. Yeah, one place. And then, we'll be able to like go on tour as well. We'll have our own, centers, if you will. There'll be a retreat place as well. Probably there will be a retreat set up on lots of them. Anyway, things are still percolating and unfolding and everything, but we've got the go ahead to start, and I've got the business plan already laid out, and just gotta get a few more things locked in with legalities and whatnot. And I'm so excited that this particular dream is actually coming online, and I know it'll happen because my partner showed up. And I've been waiting my whole life for this. So I am so grateful for everything in life, even the hard times, because it helped me be able to humble myself and reflect, so much so that I was able to get to where I'm at here today. And I'm not saying I don't have more growth or anything to do. Of course, we all do. Doesn't matter if we're putting anybody up on a pedestal thinking they've got it all figured out and they don't have their down moments or anything. You are sorely mistaken. And when you do that to somebody, where are you putting you? And if you're operating from here, sometimes there'll be times where the ego comes in, and then you start putting yourself above others. And what are you doing to them? That's not balance. That's not coming from a place of equality. And we're all equal. We all have soul. We all came from the creator, and we'll end up going back there. We're just doing a dance of perceived separation in order to find our way back home to the truth of who we are. So with that being said, from my heart to yours, I truly do love all of you. And I do apologize for not being able to hold space for those that may be stuck in their own stuff right now. I wish there was more that I can do, but I have to let you figure it out. And I promise you, I'm here when you're ready to see the light. So go cultivate that peace, because you have it within you. It's not outside you, it's inside. And you can do it. I have faith, I have trust, and I have love. I'll see you guys soon.